All right. I think we will get started. All right. So I am taking over for Coach Sam today. And really today we're going to talk more about sleep. I don't know if you guys were feeling it or not, but last week with daylight savings time, I was definitely feeling like a little bit run down, pretty tired, was struggling to get to sleep. Everything was just kind of thrown off. So we thought it would be a good topic to talk about today. So I'm going to kind of go over like why sleep's important in our like health and fitness journeys, and then also some tips and tricks on how to get some better sleep. So I always like to talk about sleep as like our body's time to recover, both mentally and physically. So I like to think of it almost as a return on investment. So if you are taking the time and the effort to really like doing all the Fitme habits, getting in your workouts, moving your body every day, eating your Fitme plates, like you want to make sure that you're being rewarded for that work. So I call it like my my insurance policy to make sure I'm moving forward and progressing, because when we're in our journeys and we're focusing on like, the movement, the food, the habits, and then we don't focus on that recovery piece, we're missing a big chunk of the puzzle. And we definitely want to make sure we're focusing in on that. So going into how sleep can like affect different aspects of our health and fitness journeys is it can drastically affect our hunger levels if we are not getting enough sleep. So when we sleep or when we have a lack of sleep, we have a couple different hormones that are produced, and basically they tell us when our body is full and when our body is hungry. So when we are not sleeping the best, the hormone that tells us we're full goes down, and the hormone that tells us we're hungry goes up. So if we're not getting enough sleep, we're probably going to have the urge to eat more. We may not make the best choices because we're a little bit sleep deprived. So it could lead us to, maybe go off and make some choices we wouldn't normally do because of being a little bit sleep deprived. And it's just our body's way of kind of telling us like, hey, I need some more recovery. And I'm trying to tell you food's the way to do it. But when really we want to focus in on that sleep to be able to keep those like hunger hormones in a good spot so we can help make better decisions. Also, when we sleep, our body goes through these different types of sleep cycles. So we'll go into deep sleep and REM sleep. And when we go into REM sleep, that's really when our brain recovers. So sleep is all about recovery. And when we go into that REM sleep, that's when we really retain like the information we learned. So like if you're trying to learn a new skill in the gym or learn a new movement, maybe you're prepping for like a big work meeting or something like that. Like if we're not getting into that REM sleep, it's going to be hard for us to really retain the information mentally that we're learning. So we want to make sure that we're doing that to be able to retain that info. Also, it obviously helps us repair physically or recover physically. So when we sleep, our bodies are producing all these hormones, and one of them is the human growth hormone, which helps us like repair our muscles. And we want that to happen. Obviously, we want to have our muscles repaired, especially if we're strength training. That way we can grow them. If you're looking to have like a leaner look or looking to lose body fat and you want like that toned look, then we have to be able to lose body fat and not muscle and repair that muscle. And studies have shown people who actually get enough sleep and sleep more end up losing more weight from body fat versus muscle. So another reason why sleeping is so important on, this journey is we want to be able to focus on recovery just as much as we're focusing on doing the habits, and being able to balance that stress and recovery will really help us get, the results that we want. So what are some tips and tricks that you can use to really like improve your sleep? One of them is keeping your room dark. When our body sees like light, it's basically a signal to our brain to stay awake. So if you can, make sure that your windows are closed, your blinds are closed, maybe investing in some blackout curtains to be able to limit the amount of light coming through. Also keeping our room cool. The ideal is around like 64 to 68 degrees. Some of us might sound like that's cold. I don't know about you guys, but I sleep in like the frozen tundra. I love it freezing. You can see the fans on in the video. And then also making sure that we're limiting our screen time before bed. It can be really beneficial not to be like looking at our cell phones or looking at our computers, because the blue light coming in can actually tell our brain to stay awake. So if you are like on your phone, or that's a way you'd like to wind down at night, I know I like to watch TV before bed because I just want to do something like mindless. It might be good to invest in some like blue blocking glasses, or I have like a little trick where I like turn the blue light off on my phone so that my phone's red if I'm like scrolling on something. So really trying to limit that blue light. Caffeine is another one. If you're drinking caffeine a little bit later in the day, it can stay in our system and our body doesn't really get it all out. So I would suggest maybe stop drinking caffeine after like 12 p.m., probably no later than 2 if you're trying to go to bed between like 9 and 11, something like that, because it has a half shelf life. So I noticed that definitely affects my sleep if I drink it past noon. Another thing is really like reserving your room for like sleeping. I know sometimes like I'll get in the habit of working or doing something in bed that's not sleeping, and sometimes that keeps me awake. So really reserving that time to get into our bed, like that's a signal to our body to wind down, rest, and recover. And then another tip could be trying to eat not super late in the night. Not that really affects like your body's ability to, if you're, focusing on overall health or just focusing on, fat loss or weight loss. But if you're eating a little bit closer to bed, it can keep your body from really getting into those deep sleep cycles, because your body's focused on digesting food. So some people that might affect, some people it doesn't. They can eat and then go straight to sleep. But I try to not eat anywhere from like 2 hours before bed, just so I give my body some time to digest and then be able to fall asleep. And then last but not least is trying to keep our sleep cycles pretty consistent. So trying to fall asleep around the same time every day and wake up at the same time every day, because it gets our body into a good circadian rhythm. And that way, honestly, it starts to become where you just kind of wake up at the time you're supposed to, because your body's so used to it. So like even on the weekends, where if you can, trying to get to bed within like that hour of what you typically do. So to be able to help you improve your sleep and feel good with energy in the morning. So when you wake up, you feel like you're ready for the day. So I don't know if any of you guys were struggling with sleep at all last week.
I am still struggling with sleep this week.
Well, I know you said you were sleeping on the couch, so I know that that's probably not the most comfortable.
Yeah, I'm still sleeping on the couch because I'm still a little, I'm better, but I still have a little congestion. And when I'm congested, I snore. So I keep my husband awake. But yeah, so, and I still have an issue with putting my phone down. And I did turn the blue light setting on, so it comes on at a specific time, but I'm still, because I'm on the couch, I'm still struggling with the phone.
And it's hard to stop the scrolling, especially if you're like, busy during the day, but it'll take practice. Maybe I know I do this for myself too, because if not, I'll just like constantly scroll. I set a timer for how long I'm allowed to like be on. And then I'm like, all right, you got to put the phone down, Tab.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take up reading again and not do it on my phone, but use an actual book. And I think that might help, because I have some books that I've read before, and since I've read them before, they might be a little boring, so it might help me fall asleep faster.
I agree
I'll
with
just
that.
trick my body into going to sleep.
I agree with that. And then it helps your mind like wind down.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Have you guys, do you drink caffeine later in the day? Is anybody an afternoon coffee drinker or caffeine drinker?
Me. But I have been trying to drink it earlier in the day. If I do drink it, actually, I've cut way back on my caffeine intake. So I have tried to cut it way back.
Yeah, and I think you're already cutting it back. Having it earlier in the day will definitely help not like feeling that awake feeling later in the evening. Because caffeine can stay in our system for, I think it's like the shelf life is around 8 hours for half of it to be gone. So if you're consuming, I don't know, like 150 grams of caffeine, 8 hours later, half of that will be out of your system. So even though you may not feel like super wired, it's still, circulating in your body.
Well, I think my other issue is I'm introverted. And so I get my energy from peace and quiet. So after everybody goes to bed, and this has happened ever since I had my first child, after everybody goes to bed, I get that burst of energy to get stuff done or to do things. And so I just don't know how to go about not getting that because I don't get enough quiet time during the day.
Mm-hmm. And I know you weren't really feeling good, but maybe you're not, are you a morning person or not really?
No, I'm a night owl. I've always been a night owl, but I used to get up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning and go to work. So thankfully I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, that, and I would say like maybe putting a time limit on it. Maybe rather like when you lie down, maybe you want to scroll for like a half hour or something, and then you read for a half hour. That way you get your scroll in, you get your alone time, but then you also get, you maybe you're reading and your wind down time. So then you get a break from, looking at the phone.
Yeah, maybe. I'll have to figure out something that works. I'll have to figure out something. It's just, I just get a burst of energy after everybody goes to bed. It's just always happened that way. Because that's when I used to have time for myself that I could read, I could watch TV, that was before all the phones and stuff. So, I could clean in peace, not have kids underfoot. So it's just, so it takes a while to wind down, but I'm still working on a strategy to go to bed at a decent time.
And it'll get easier once you do it more and you practice it more. It won't be like a flip of the switch type sort of thing, because that's hard, especially if you're used to going to bed later and then trying to like go to bed a little bit earlier, get off the phone a little bit. So even if it's just like cutting it off 5 minutes, improving it a little bit's better than, nothing.
Yeah, exactly. The other issue is naps during the day because I've been sick. I've been taking naps during the day. So then I want to stay up later. So today I did not take a nap. So hopefully tonight will be better. This
I
is the
hope.
first day I haven't napped in like 2 weeks.
Or you must be getting your energy back, hopefully a little bit.
Yeah, I am. I'm tired. I can feel it today, but I don't want to nap. So,
Well, good. Hopefully you'll get some better sleep and soon you won't be congested so that you can go back to your bed.
yeah. Yeah.
How is everybody else's sleep? Are you guys feeling good? Feeling like you're getting enough sleep, good sleep, waking up with energy, maybe not wanting to like shoot out out of bed, but feeling good when you wake up.
No, I've been exhausted. I'm not gonna lie. So my goal this week, starting today, is to try to get in bed at least 15 minutes earlier than I have been, because I really don't have any rhyme or reason for why I'm waking up feeling like I didn't have a restful sleep. So I'm getting hours, but when I wake up, I still feel tired. So
Do you feel like you're sleeping through the night?
I think so.
Are
I'm
you
all
on a phone or anything later in the evening or
no.
TV?
I go to bed in pitch black, no TV, no phone. But I have to sleep with my phone near me because I'm on call at all times. But
Mhm.
I rarely ever scroll through social media from bed. By the time I get in bed, I'm exhausted. So it used to take me from the time I would get in bed about 15 minutes to just fall asleep. Now it's taking me 40 minutes, 45 minutes to fall asleep, which I don't know why. But I do think it's probably partially because I'm having hot flashes. I'm 45 and they're starting. And one
That can
night
definitely affect
laid
it.
there and felt it coming over me. I was like, oh my God, what the hell? Like 1 minute I was cool and then I was on fire. So then I was under the covers, then I wasn't under the covers. Then I was freezing as I was sweating. It was a hot mess. So I'm guessing that probably is playing a role in why I'm exhausted, because my body's fighting itself all night, probably.
That
Those
definitely could be disrupting it.
Those
Sorry,
hot
Julie, go
flashes
ahead.
are awful.
Yeah.
I'm 47, so I know all about those things.
I guess I'm just happy it's happening at night and not during the day, but my goodness.
I'm 52 and I know all about it. Waking up drenched in the morning.
Yep. So I've stopped taking showers at night because it was pointless. I woke up smelling like I out. It was bad. It's bad.
Maybe
Yeah,
a stain on the mattress cover.
Yep.
That's tough. And that definitely can disrupt your sleep, especially if you're not comfortable. I know that there's these things out there, and I'm not telling you guys to like go buy them or anything, but there's a thing called the chili pad. And it's a thing that you put on your mattress and it helps keep your mattress cool. I think it's between your mattress and your mattress pad. I've never looked into them because they're pretty expensive, but I'm a hot sleeper. So I'm like, anything to keep me cool when I sleep, I'm all about it. But maybe not like that expensive because I think it's like thousands of bucks. But any way that you can keep your room cooler, and even, I don't know, Natika, would it be good to like have like a cold towel or something? I don't know if on your forehead. That was like my first thought, to be able to keep your body cool.
Honestly, I have no idea. This is all very new. So I don't know. It's worth a try.
I suggest you talk to your doctor because I don't know how you feel about hormone replacement, but you can probably get some help with that if it's really bothersome.
Oh, that's a good idea. I have my physical in a couple of weeks anyway, so definitely.
Yeah, I do too in a couple weeks.
I have not tried this yet, but I've heard that black cohosh, it's a natural herbal supplement, and it might be more preferable than putting more hormones in your body.
What is it? What do you? Is it a tea, or how do you use it?
I'm not really sure what forms it comes in. I know you can get it as a tea. You can get it. I think you can get it as a pill, or possibly a tincture.
Can you put it in the? I don't even know what you said it was. Black what?
Cohosh. COHOSH. COHOSH.
Okay. Thank you.
I'll type it in the chat.
Thank you.
Because I just looked it up here as well.
Yeah, I've heard that it helps with the hot flashes. But I have not tried it, but I know that I used to see a midwife and she swore by it.
Yeah, I can honestly say I've never heard of that, so I don't want to say anything. I don't know anything about, but it might be good to ask your doctor about it.
Yeah.
This is the first time in my life I haven't been cold, so I don't mind the hot flashes really. Because otherwise I'm always cold. I've had my thyroid checked 1,000,000 times and everything, and I'll deal with the hot flashes, at least for now.
I think April said in the chat that, she said, I get enough sleep daily, but have fatigue thanks to rheumatoid arthritis. I always feel drained. The other thing that's super, like, sleep is definitely one part of the recovery process too, but actually making sure we're eating enough of the right stuff. So eating our Fitme plates, eating enough calories, because food's also a really good way to help our body recover. And I know we always talk about protein, because protein is usually one of the things that's kind of hard to like get in. It's easy to get our carbs and our fats in. Protein, a little bit tougher, but that can actually help with like hormone production. It can help with neurotransmitter production and make our bodies feel better. So not only from like a calorie perspective, but also helping our bodies produce what we need to feel good. So if you're feeling like maybe your sleep's on point, maybe have a conversation with your coach on where you're at nutritionally. Are you getting in enough of the right stuff, enough of calories, enough of our proteins and veggies and nutrients to make sure our bodies are feeling good?
Definitely getting more calories, I think, has helped me stay warm too. Because I don't think I was eating enough.
You've been working hard at that.
I have been working hard at trying to get the protein in. My focus is protein, protein, protein. So some days I do really good with it and other days not so good. I think there's only been 1 or 2 days I've actually hit my protein goal, but it's still way more than I was eating before. So I'm good.
And you're eating breakfast in the morning too?
Yes, like the last 3 or 4 days I eat when Harmony eats. So excited.
Good.
That which makes me hungry for lunch, which makes me hungry for dinner. So my appetite's starting to come back.
Yep. You're probably feeling better too. So you're more recovered, your appetite, your body's like, all right, give me the food.
Yep. Well, I didn't stop eating when I had COVID. So I was still always hungry or eating. Basically my body was like, no, you need to eat. So I just ate.
I'm glad. Does anybody else have any other questions? Anything they want to talk about when it comes to sleep and recovery? How are you guys feeling? I know we heard from April and Natika. Does anybody have a sleep routine that they do that they, feel like they have down pat pretty well that helps them wind down?
I probably have a routine. I know I had a routine, but I kind of, last week when I was purging and decluttering, I kind of threw it to the wayside because I was so keyed up about, oh man, this is so awesome. I'm getting rid of all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it was hard to wind down.
It definitely is, especially if you're up late doing stuff. I can share my nighttime routine if that would be helpful for anybody. I do try to get off my phone by like 8 o'clock. Normally I am trying to be in bed by like 9:30, falling asleep. The only thing that I use my phone for is listening to a meditation. I don't know about you guys, but like my mind like races. I'm thinking about all the things I'm supposed to be doing tomorrow and the next day, and then random things pop in my mind. So I like to use a meditation app to help me fall asleep because it gives me something to like concentrate on.
Yeah, me too.
I found that it's really, really helped me wind down. And then I like forget about what I'm thinking because I'm using the meditation app. So it really keeps me concentrated on like one thing, and that's the meditation.
Yeah, a lot
I've
of
been
times
using Go ahead.
I've been using a meditation that uses guided breathing. So I'm basically focusing on my breathing and counting or following the count of the guider, the guide, and it helps me detach from everything else.
I love that. I just shared in the chat for you guys a good, it's a free app that you can use. Insight Timer is a good one. They have a ton of free meditations on there, so you don't have to pay for it. So, and you can have, I mean, there's ones to sleep, to focus, like anything you could think of, you need a meditation for, it has it in there.
Balance is the app that I downloaded, and they actually, when I downloaded, I don't know if they still do, but they had a 1-year free trial. So, I downloaded that, and that's what I've been using, and it's been working out really well when I use it. That's the issue, when I use it.
Oh.
Maybe
And
that's something you could add.
They do sleep and, meditations during the day, and so it's not just sleep. So
Right.
It's other times during the day if you feel anxiety or stress or.
I use meditations from Fitme.
Oh, cool. I didn't know they had that.
Yep. Go under Discover. The Discover tab.
I have an Apple Watch now, so I don't have a Fitbit anymore, but I gave my Fitbit to my daughter when I got my Apple Watch. So maybe I'll have her look into that because she has issues with sleep too. So
Yes.
Definitely a good way to wind the brain down and just like kind of not focus on other things except your breathing. The one I like is like, maybe I'll share it in the Facebook group, but it talks about like relaxing your muscles. I don't know about you guys. I feel like I'm always like, making a face or like scrunched. So it like talks about relaxing your face muscles, relaxing your shoulders. And I don't know what about it just makes me feel super light and like ready to fall asleep.
Progressive muscle relaxation.
That's what it is. Yep.
that is a good one.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, then we got some good apps that we're talking about. I'll repeat them. They're Insight Timer. Julie said Balance. Kristen said in the Fitbit app. So there's tons of different things that you can do there. I can also share with you guys, if you're interested, some of the blue light blocking glasses that I use if I am doing work later in the evening. I'm super nerdy, so like I research them to make sure they're good. So they're vetted. They're a good source of blue light blocking glasses I can share with you guys. And yeah, if you ever have any questions on how to improve sleep or maybe where you could work on, definitely talk to your coach. If you want, you can Marco Polo me, anything, ask them in the Facebook group. More than happy to help.
I also forgot to mention that I journal. And it's not any kind of guided journaling. It's just, I do say, I will say that I journal. My therapist has me journaling about things that I'm grateful for. And I've been focusing on things that I've been grateful for about myself because I've been trying to build up my self-esteem.
That's a good idea.
That way you can end your day on a positive note.
If you have a lot of thoughts running through your head at night, it's a good idea to have a notebook next to your bed and write them down because then they're out of your head.
Yeah.
I learned that in therapy, and that is the best thing that I have ever learned is to have a piece of paper or a notebook or something just to be able to write them down.
That's a good idea. Get them out so they're not circulating up there.
Yeah, because I have a big problem with racing thoughts at night. They can keep me awake for hours until I deal with them.
Mm-hmm. I know I don't have a pen and paper. Sometimes I'll put it on my phone if I think about it or if I have like a good idea for something or I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to do X, Y, Z.
Yeah, or if I want to look something up, I'll look it up and then just leave the tab open on my phone for later so that I can go back to it later and not forget what I was thinking about.
You can also email yourself the link to that tab.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a good idea.
I
All
do
right,
that a
guys.
lot.
Yep. I always either save it or I'll text it to myself too. So I'm like, oh, I have a text message.
Thanks, Tabby.
Thank you guys. Thanks for letting me hop on in Sam's place. I mean, might be on every now and then to help her out. But if you have any questions, let us know. And I hope you guys all have a good night.
You too. And I'll talk to you tomorrow.
We will. All right. See you guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.